Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of my Let's Play KDF or Klingon Defense Force Faction series. So two announcements to start off with. First of all, I apologize in the last video that some audio cut out during part of it. I have no idea where the audio went for a specific period of time from 21 minutes to 23 minutes into the video. Apparently the audio just cut out. And the audio cut out in the place that I was basically comparing how many KDF missions there are compared to Federation missions. And in summary, I'll just do this real quick, there are 54 unique Federation missions. That does not count the featured episodes that they released, the 4 featured episode series. Whereas in contrast, there are 9 unique KDF missions, if you do not count the FE series. So, and then by the FE series, I mean the Davidian one that has 5 episodes, the Romulan one that has 5 episodes, the Jem'Hadar that has 5 episodes, and the Breen that has 5 episodes. They released those later on, you know, after the game was released the first time. And each of those are 5 episodes, so that's 20 episodes, but that was added later. Originally, the game actually came out with only 8 KDF missions. There was a 9th one added this year. That's what I was just basically saying, is that there are 54 unique Federation missions and only 9 unique KDF missions. And we can, you know, simply look at that by counting them. You know, here under the Federation War, you have bringing down the house always wins, second star to the right, keep your enemies closer, and then that's it. Then the FE starts, called skirmish, all the way down to Night of the Comet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes under Federation War, whereas the Federation side, it had like, you know, over 10 episodes or something. This one only has like 4 missions. And then you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's 8, 9 alpha, and that's it. The rest are all the FEs, starting with the Vault, which is the Romulan one, then the Dominion, starting with Second Wave, then the Breen Invasion, and then the Undine. It has Assimilation, the Return, Fluid Dynamics, and the Light in the Dark, and those missions you can also find on the Federation side. So those are not unique to KDF. So unique missions, totally separate from Federation. There are only 9 missions that are completely different. The rest are exactly the same as what you can play on the Federation side. And that's been a lot of the complaint about the KDF faction, is that there aren't enough missions. Whereas there are 54 unique missions on Federation, there's only 9 on KDF. Huge difference. Now, when you add in the missions like the Romulan and the Breen and the Davidian and the Jem'Hadar, that's 20 more missions. So it's really be like 29 missions basically total, and then plus those other 4. So 30-something missions complete that the KDF side has, but most of those are shared with the Federation side. So yeah, that's unfortunate. And that has been the biggest complaint of the KDF, is just the lack of unique missions. Compared to the Federation, it's puny. I mean, it's just flat out puny. And until they released all these FEs, it took you a very long time to level a KDF character, and that's why a lot of people shied away from playing the KDF side, was because it took so long to level a character when you only had, you know, 9 missions, and then later on they added 20 more. Even with that, it was still took a very long time. In the old system, it took a lot longer to level, so you can imagine, I mean, it was unbearable. I have played it on the old system before free to play, and it was just a grind fest. KDF was pretty much a grind fest. I had to do dailies every day in order to level and get to where I needed to go, and it was pretty terrible. They've kind of tried to fix that by starting you at commander level 20 now. So you do start at that higher rank. You're only 30 grades away from max level 50. And they start you with a higher level ship and higher level gear, Mark 5 gear. So you're already up there halfway to maximum gear, Mark 10, Mark 11, stuff. And now they have more missions because there are 4 FEs out that have come out. That's 20 more missions, so that does give you more things to do on KDF side. And then, of course, you still have all the dailies and everything. And that's basically just what I went over in that missing time period of the last video. So I apologize for that, but basically my point was KDF missions, very, very puny, don't like, but it is what it is. And Cryptic doesn't seem to understand that to get people to come to the KDF side and play it, they need to create those missions first. They seem to think that people should come to the KDF side and play it, and then when there's a big user base on it, then they'll spend that time and resources to make those missions available, or to make more missions for this side. But that's not the way it works in the real world. You have to have something that entices or brings the people over to it, something that the people want to come over to play and do. They had plenty of missions ready on the Federation side, but the KDF side was nowhere near ready. They honestly should not have released the game with playable Federation side at launch. It just wasn't ready. But I digress. It is what it is, and apparently that's not going to change anytime soon. Now, second order of business. I have had a lot of posts and comments that I should just go ahead and continue leveling a new character, even though it takes a while on KDF side and you have to do some grindy type stuff. That I should just go ahead and do it. I do this series for you all. I do this the whole basis of me doing this Let's Play Star Trek Online series is for you guys. It's for the people that are watching this video right now. It's for you. And of course, I'm going to listen to user feedback because it's for you guys and it's what you want. And I am a man of reason, and I listen, and what the readers want, the readers get. And since I do this for you guys, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I've reconsidered and decided, let's go ahead and do it. Let's level a new KDF character from start to finish and see what that's like, instead of using one of my max KDF characters and just replaying the missions. Now, what this means is I'm not going to have the best gear, I'm not going to have the highest level gear, I'm not going to have the best bridge officers set up and all that stuff, which is what you would experience too when you create a new character. You're not going to have anything starting off either, except what the game gives you. And I have no energy credits to buy anything. So what I did is, in the last 3 videos, we had our Klingon that was going through the tutorials. Well, I decided to go ahead and delete him, and since I was going to do this right, I wanted to create myself a new character that I can keep after I do this series, that I can go ahead and keep. I already have a max level engineer on KDF, and I would love to have a max level tactical officer and a max level science officer eventually, because I have a max level engineer, science, and tactical on the Federation side, and it would be nice to have a max level of all 3 careers on the KDF side as well. So I deleted my Klingon engineer and I created a new character that we're going to use, and she is a tactical officer, so not an engineer. So on the Federation side, I did engineer. You got to see what those kits were like. You got to see all the support drone and turret action that I just love. Well, I'm not going to have that now on this character because she is a tactical officer, and I would love to have a max level tactical officer in KDF. I did choose the Liberated Borg race, so I am playing as my Liberated Borg. Again, I love that as a playable race, and so I'm using that. I also claimed my Liberated Borg engineer bridge officer so that I can assign her on my ship. because I had that. So those were the two unique things that I had because of, you know, all the time and money I've spent into this game over the past 3 years. So you guys may not have those options, but at least you'll see what this career type is, you know, leveling up. So I spent some time setting my character up. First thing I did is I went through the same tutorials that the Klingon did. So we're up to Commander 21, which is right where we left off with our Klingon. So it's the exact same, you know, skill points and everything, because all I did was the tutorials. That's all I've done so far. And what I did is I went ahead and took all my gear that the game gives you. Remember, the game gives you Mark 5 gear. I took that and put it on my new character. So here she is. I've named her following in my Doctor Who theme. She is going to be the Master, as a female Master for the first time ever, I guess. So I have put the gear that the game gave me, remember, for free on her. I've got the Mark 5 personal shield with capacity. I've got the energy dampening armor with health points, and it gave me this tactical kit by default. It gives me a tactical kit Fire Team Mark 5, which gives me ambush power, which is a single attack damage buff, plus 60% all damage for 15 seconds, plus 245 stealth for 15 seconds. It gives me an area of effect damage and a damage over time effect with the plasma grenade, 50% shield penetration. Damage reduces from epicenter, creates a 2.5 meter radius plasma fire patch for 15 seconds that deals 4.8 plasma damage every 1 second. So it's a plasma grenade. Love that. Suppressing fire, weapon upgrade. Target slow and damage debuff grants suppressing fire 2 for 16 seconds to all ranged weapons. To target, negative 66% run speed. To target, negative 21% all damage. And to target, 10% chance of rooting them for 5 seconds. So that's what I get with this kit. Plasma grenade is something that I'm going to keep using through all my kits that I get as tactical officer. I love the plasma grenades, and as a Klingon officer, it makes sense. I've got Disruptor Pulse Wave, Assault Mark 5, and of course they give you a Batleth. And just to go over the traits that I gave my Borg, or myself, it comes with Efficient Captain and Borg Nanites by default. Those are the ones you cannot change. So Efficient Captain, Space Trade provides a bonus to warp core efficiency, and then the Borg Nanites has that health regeneration. My last character on the Federation had the same traits because he was Ensign Ricky, because he was also a liberated Borg or whatever. So those were default, and then I gave her aggressive, and even though it has a greater threat generation, it has plus 5% all damage, so it increases my damage. So I'm already a tactical officer, right? Now I've increased my damage. I'm going to get the most DPS. This character is being created for the sole reason of DPS. I'm going to try to get the most DPS I can, and that's a tactical officer. That's given her aggressive and any other kind of, you know, damage buffs that I can give her. And then I gave her that Borg Neural Blast that I like, you know, so I can shoot that out and it slows people from running. I went ahead and I'm going to use the default ship that you start out with, and it's a Norg Bird of Prey. And it comes with a dual disruptor beam bank, dual cannons, a photon torpedo. Really, it's not the best setup in the world, and I don't really like it, but hey, it's all I can do right now. I can't afford to buy any weapons, and I can, however, get another ship. I looked in the shipyard, and I have a token where I could go get a different commander level ship. So if I didn't want to fly this Bird of Prey, I could do that. And I might actually do that a little later on in the series, because under Commander, because I like the Raptor the best. That's my favorite ship. I flew it on my other character, and I love it to death. But I haven't really flown the Bird of Prey too much, so I figured, hey, this is what the game is giving us by default, so we'll start with that ship, and maybe during later on during a commander, I might switch to the other one just to show you guys the difference. And then of course when we're captain, we'll get another ship anyway. Definitely, for sure. So we'll start out with this ship and we'll fly it for at least half of my commander rank, and then we'll look at maybe getting another ship so I can show you another commander ship. You know, the more the merrier, right? So this thing is equipped with what it can be equipped with. I have assigned my stations. I've assigned my all my space people that I want and all my ground people. And unfortunately I cannot utilize all their powers because I don't have the energy credits to retrain their powers. These are not the powers that I would really go for, but unfortunately it takes energy credits to retrain bridge officer powers, and if you look at my energy credits, I got 0. Until I do some missions and have some stuff and sell stuff, I'm going to have no energy credits to change my ship powers, or my ground powers for that matter. So I'm just stuck with whatever these bridge officers have for right now. It's probably going to be not until captain until I'm really able to get their powers to where I want them to be. So it's going to be a while, and unfortunately, see, I can use all the way up to commander or lieutenant commander power here for my tactical officer, but you know, I can't do that yet because I want to get her powers right, and then I have to promote the bridge officer. So I'm stuck right now. Unfortunately, I'm stuck. I do have bridge officer skill points I can spend, but I don't want to spend the skill points yet until I get their powers in the right place, because then I'm just wasting skill points. So there's no point in spending their skill points until I get the right powers in the right slots. So I just have to wait. And the tutorial gave me all the bridge officers I needed. But remember, I had that unique Borg bridge officer that I can get, and so I went ahead and got her, and using her as an engineer. So for my ground crew, I have a science officer who will heal. I have 2 engineers, and I'll give them turrets and support drones, and then 1 tactical officer, and then I am a tactical officer. So that's a pretty good loadout. So I'll have a healer, 2 engineers that are going to throw out lots of stuff, and then 2 tactical officers for a ground team, me and my other officer. And the rest of these officers are just what the tutorial gave me. This was a Klingon female, this is an Orion male, and this is a Gorn male. And I've just equipped them with the weapons and stuff that the game gave me starting off. So I haven't bought a single thing. I haven't changed a single thing. I've only done what I can do starting off. And we are going to start off with the IKS Furball. I have spent my skill points, however. Remember, you get a lot of skill points with the game starting. And I put them all in the places that I'm going to use them. I will be using attack patterns now that I have a tactical officer. I'm definitely going to be flying an escorty tactical ship, and we'll be using those attack patterns. So I put skills into that, and I've got skills into everything that's relevant to me. Grenades, I'm going to be using, like I said, the plasma grenade quite a bit, and then weapon proficiency. So that's all set. I'm all set. I've set my hotbar with all the buttons that I have currently where I want them. This is the target optics. This is the ambush 1. This is suppressing fire 2. When I'm in battle, I can activate fire on my mark. I've got the neural blast, and I got the plasma grenade 1. I already had 2 Hordas. I had bought these a long time ago. I've just never used them. But I figure, what person better to use them on than a Klingon, on the Klingon side. So I've got my Acid Horda and my Elysium Horda, and I put them on my bar. They are active fighting Hordas. They will, attack enemies for you. So I have those on there, and I can use those. I also claimed all the tribbles that I can claim on the KDF side, and the one I decided to go with is the Raiden tribble, because it gives me plus 2.5% all energy damage, and then 2.5% maximum shield capacity as well, and then 5 dilithium every hour. But that's not a big deal. But basically, I get that energy damage and shield capacity with that. And let's see what else. That's pretty much it for ground. I'm set up for ground. I've tried to make an albino Klingon woman. Unfortunately, she's looking a bit green. At least on First City she is. Maybe on other worlds she'll look more white. But that's the brightest I could make her. I've also outfitted her with the TOS uniform for Klingons. I had that option, and I decided to use it. So she is wearing the TOS uniform for Klingons. I like it. It looks pretty nice. So that is her.